What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be sorting out the fuel supply and the fuel lines for the E30. So obviously we've got the fuel tank. The bottom has been restored. There's some pictures on my Instagram if you want to go see that. I'll leave a link in the description, or I'll put my username on the screen now. We've got some nice new cotton braided fuel hose. We've got some Jubilee clips for the fuel hose so we can clamp it down and don't have any leaks or explosions. We've got a brand new fuel filter. And the most important bit, we've got the fuel pressure regulator. This is off the E46 M3 filter housing, I believe. It bolts on and off. You just need this in line with the fuel hoses. When you get this, so you have to change the regulator. You have to change it to a 3.5 bar regulator for it to work properly with the M54. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jack the car up. We're going to take all the old stuff out and we're going to get all this new stuff bolted in. Obviously you've got the fuel tank out, we've got the car on jack stands. What we've got to do with these vacuum lines is figure out which is for the left side of the fuel tank for the vent. We know this thicker one here is the right side vent, and then one of these two is either charcoal canister or left side vent. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get my diagram, I'm going to figure out which one's which. If I can't, then I'll just take off the splash plate and we'll look at the evap tank and we'll go from there. Right guys, figured out which is which. This thicker one is for the charcoal canister. This smaller thinner one here is for the left side vent. Obviously we already know this is right side vent. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to the fuel tank and start with the new lines. Right, now we figured all that stuff out underneath the car. We're going to take off this fuel line here. There is one that's supposed to run from this line as well, which is the left side vent. We'll take it off, measure up this, we're going to cut it up, and then we can install the fuel tank. First hose cut up. You see how the installation is. I've never cut fuel line before. I did use a standing knife. It did go for it quite well. It's made quite a nice clean cut. So now we've got this cut up. We've got the Jubilee clips on, and we're going to install this now. Hopefully it looks better than before. I haven't got any like silicone spray to make this go on easier. I should have bought some. I've been quite unprepared for this video, if I'm going to be honest. So fuel hose now is finally on. Well, the first one is. Keep that Jubilee clip away from there so we can install that other one quite easy. Well, yeah, I'm quite happy with it. It looks really good. Get these tightened down. Yeah, it looks loads better than before. Where's the old one? This was the old one. The new one is definitely 10 times better. And just for peace of mind, while it's out, it's not hard to change, so may as well change it and make it look nice and new. I'm not going to tighten that one fully yet. I'll get the other hose on first with the other clip on so I can tighten them down. I don't want that clip to get in the way of the other hose. So what we'll do is, I'm going to measure up the next bit of hose. This is for the left side vent, it comes down to here. And we'll get that cut up and we'll install that one as well. So as you can see, the left side vent hose is on. We're going to tighten down these two clips. Now I've got this side on, I can tighten down the other side as they're not going to be in the way of each other. Once this is on and tightened down, what we're going to do is we're going to get the tank under the car, get the right side clamped on. We can then install this side as well, I'll put all the bolts in and then we can start on the filter the other side. Right guys, I was just about to install the fuel tank and then I realised I hadn't put the fuel return line in. So I've got the fuel return line in now. It's this one here. Obviously you can't, it's not a hard line, so you just have to put on the hose. Comes down to about here. Once it's in the car, there'll be like a hard line pipe that you just slide straight over, just like all the other stuff, and then you put your clip on. And then we've got the fuel send line here. I just need to cut a little bit of hose here because the fuel filter sits around here. It's on like a little bracket. So I'll cut that hose, put the clips on, then we can install this bad boy. Right guys, fuel tank's in, but we're struggling with the last like few bolts for fitment. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back down on the wheels. Hopefully the fuel tank then sits back into place properly. We'll put the last few bolts in. We can move on to the filter and then we can make the bracket for the filter and finish the lines off. Right, so we've got the fuel tank in guys, as you can see. The restoration project on it was really good. As I said before in the video, if you want to see the pictures of what it looked like before and after, it's all on my Instagram and what I did to it with all the clips and stuff. The middle pipe that joins the two tanks together, I've got a new one of those. It's not OEM. The OEM one is like 80-90 quid, so I just went up to my local hydraulic shop and I gave them that, and they said, oh, does it have to be this shape? I said no, as long as it doesn't extend from the 2 points, so it's not like too long or whatever. They said yeah, that's fine, and I got one for about £12, so it does the same job. It just joins the two tanks together. It cost me like a tenth of the price. So now the fuel tank's in, you can see that we've got the two lines here, the longer one being the return line, the shorter one being the feed line. So what we're going to do is, the OEM place for the fuel filter is right up here. So what we're going to do is we'll attach the fuel filter to this. We'll get the bracket sorted. I think the bracket just bolts in on one of the holes in the fuel tank. So we'll get the filter put onto this line, we'll get it clamped on, we'll get the Jubilee clamp around the fuel filter, and then all attached to the bracket. So guys, the hard lines that go to the front of the frame rail where it connects to the fuel pressure regulator that I bought off the E46 M3, these hard lines, I need to take them all off because I have got a little bit of a rust issue here. Don't know if you guys can see, I've got a bit of a rust issue here. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to wire wheel all this area here, all down here, make sure there's no really bad damage, weld some plates in, and then I can put the hard lines in for the fuel supply. But for now we'll just focus getting the fuel filter sorted and getting the bracket made and getting it all bolted up. Right guys, I don't know if you can see, right over in the other side, the fuel filter is in now. Fuel tank's all sorted, fuel filter's sorted, we just need the hard lines, we need to sort that bit of rust as well, and then we can continue with the rest of the hard lines that go all the way down to the pressure regulator. What I'm hoping is for the hard lines to come up just under where that control arm is. I'm hoping that this pressure regulator will just go next to the frame rail down the side there, so it doesn't look too ugly. And then you get a vacuum line from the regulator here to the intake boot here, and we have the quick release adapter from this engine. It just goes straight onto the end here. So once we've got the hard line sorted out, we can sort all that out, and then the fuel supply will be done. Sorry, it's like a two-part video, but obviously if we have rust issues down the side, we've got to sort that out first. I'm going to end the video here guys. Thank you for watching. I will get the hard line sorted. We'll do the rust and that in the next video probably, and then finish the fuel supply off in like a second part video. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment down below what you'd like to see me do to the E30. All my socials are in the description as well. You can subscribe if you want to, you don't have to, and I'll see you in the next one.